Oh well. It's a beautiful game. We're not, it's fine. We're having fun. So like most games, again, we play it in, you want to do it in an Asian language with not a lot of characters, like Japanese. Or basically anything that does not have a lot of characters, less text boxes. Time is going to start when her feet hit the floor and we gain control of the character. So right now. Good old tutorial cave. Learn how to run and jump. It only takes us just about 3 minutes to get through here. Pretty much 3 minutes of nothing. Just learning the very basics before we get out into the big wide world. There are a lot of little optimizations though. Mostly just hugging the corners and getting everything at the right angle. You're just saving seconds, really. First cutscene. The lore for the game, if you read those giant tablets, it does go into detail. But, you get the base of the story just by playing through. Trigger our first cutscene here. They're unskippable, but they're pretty. The objective of the game is that we're about to find out there is a giant looming darkness trying to seep into the world and cause havoc, as darkness does. And we have to go awaken 3 guardians of the light. Each one of the guardians has a piece of a key that when combined will open up the temple that we need to go to. And somehow, something about that, something about waking the guardians and getting the keys is going to defeat the darkness. Got about another 30 seconds in the cave, maybe 40. Starts. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Super fluid game. Love it. Perfect mechanics for a speed game. Plenty of times like this for donation readings. If it were to be a GDQ run, which would be awesome. Super gorgeous game. As you can see, it takes less than 3 minutes to get out of the cave. Not a big deal. We gotta talk to this guy first. Excuse me. And now we can fly. So this is the mechanic we're going to be using throughout the majority of the game. A good amount of the run actually is just figuring out ways to trigger your bird transformation in areas where you're not supposed to be able to. Oh, excuse me. Got my allergy pill. First stop, big tree. We need the grove key. Good landing. So we need to open up these gates, and then to open the door to the big tree, we're gonna have to fly through all of these gates. Welcome back, Exile. What's going on, dude? Gonna get a good amount of speed and a good angle going. Cleaning out your OneDrive? Oh god, good luck. It sounds like such a pain. I hated doing that when I got my when I built my new PC. Still a little bit harder than it looks. Getting all three of these back to back to back at full speed. Not the biggest time loss in the world if you don't get it, but obviously, there we go. Absolutely beautiful. Vamp is still here. What's going on, Vamp? Everyone, give a shout to Vamp. Nice landing. Pull out our lantern. Open the door now with the light focused. And head on in. So typically, you can only transform in the overworld. It's not something you're supposed to be able to do in dungeons. $400 new custom contents, good lord. Ain't no rest for the wicked. This first one we're just gonna kind of truck along. The dungeons get quicker after this because you skip through most of it. This isn't long anyways, just a bit, like probably another 2 or 3 minutes. Missed that cycle, but it's fine because it opens up a better cycle for those top and middle rocks later. If we catch this one and then make it up the side of the mountain fast enough. Let's be able to hop, hop, hop right down to the platform there. We need to trigger that to free the stag spirit from his little magic bubble prison. Alright, and yep, I think this is a good cycle. Yes, it is. Perfect. See, they line up really nicely right there. Close this up. That frees the stag spirit, apparently. And out of gratitude, they're gonna give us the Grove Key. And then we'll head off to our first dungeon. There's an out-of-bounds trick that we're going to be doing there to get the skip. Cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's head back the way we came. Just see the Kitsune for the first time. We'll see them a few more times. Skip the dialogue, jump past them. All the usual stuff. And we're gonna fly to our first dungeon. Which thankfully we don't have to do any more like literal flying through hoops or anything. We have the key, it'll open it right up for us. This is another point where we would do stuff like read donations and whatnot. Because we're just flying to the next dungeon at this point. The most important thing in this game, besides knowing the skips of course, is just knowing the routing, knowing where to go next. It can be very, very easy to get lost in such an open game. So there are no map markers. You can look at the top of the screen at the compass. There's nothing that tells you where to go. in a casual run, you would be flying around, talking to people, and just kind of figuring things out little by little. But of course, we know where we're going. Stick the landing. Trigger this. Visually appealing little cutscene. Fly our way in. Perfect. Nailed it. This is where the hard part starts, though. Like I said, typically you cannot transform in dungeons. We're gonna pull off a specific maneuver that allows us to do so. Don't know why it works, but it does if you do it just right. Might take a couple tries. You factor for that. It's fine. We'll see what happens. We're gonna make our way down normally. And then right over here, if we time to jump off of this pillar just right. Nope. Alright, so we'll try again. Just gotta make our way back up. It's pretty precise. And got it. That was perfect. Pull up the lantern. So we just go all the way down to the bottom. We have to trigger this to open the door. But we're only going to go up to that very first vault door. That's where the first skip is going to be. Again, it's a little bit precise, but we can do it. It's not so difficult that I'm concerned about messing it up at any point. Go to the vault. Trigger this elevator. Just gotta ride it out. Once we get to the top, we'll be able to trigger the skip. There's a little out of bounds right in the corner here. It's a little bit tricky. Good start. Beautiful. And out of bounds. And back in bounds. Perfect. Beautiful skip right there. Gorgeous skip. And then, so we just completely bypassed that dungeon. About to wake up the first Light Guardian. I think it was the first seal. Which sadly kills them, I think is the implication here. They sacrificed themselves to give us the power to seal away the darkness. Sad, but it's for the good of the world. And that's the first dungeon. So now we have to go find the North Key, which will open up the monastery. We'll see a little change of scenery here for a while. Go up north, see some snow. Make sure we're going in the right direction. Go a little more this way, actually. Yep, so we gotta go through those towers. Isn't it nice to have all that free space after you get rid of a bunch of stuff you didn't need before? Should see some improvement. Alright, so I see the first little bit of snow off in the distance. We're gonna hug this island here. And then I gotta keep an eye out. It is a little bit hard to see in all the snow, but one of these islands is gonna have a cave here. Come on. There we go. This is really simple. We don't need any skips or anything for this part. The North Key is very easy. You know, once we get loaded in. You're gonna go fall asleep. I feel that. Enjoy your night, Vamp. Always good seeing you. Alright, so super easy. We just gotta trigger 4 of these. There's one. Second one's right there. Two. Come back up and around. Three. Yeah, nothing really special about this key. Stepping on all these plates triggers vibrations, which shatters the ice surrounding the key, is what that is. Whee! Just hop our way up. Grab the key. This is the key to the monastery. Second dungeon. Which, the monastery will take like a minute if we hit the skip right away. You'll see. It's pretty great. So otherwise it would be a pretty long dungeon. But, like I said before, by triggering the transformation in places that you're not supposed to be able to transform, we're able to fly past most of it. There's the Kitsune, again, waiting to greet us. I don't really recall what he says, to be completely honest. I should probably brush up on the dialogue. Alright, that's North Key. I just had to find our way towards the monastery. Again, this would be another good time to read donations and stuff while we're flying from place to place. In general, just a good run forward. There's a good mixture of soaring time, cool skips, beautiful scenery. So we're going to try to hug the islands here so we don't get lost. Essentially, though, yeah, it's right up in the distance there. We're just heading towards the northernmost part of the map. Which, interestingly, look at that. It starts to get really calm. You expect it to get worse the more north you go, but it's so chill here. I love this area. Perhaps a little cold looking, but it's fine. Really serene. In general, this is just super chill game. Good vibes. This is a fun skip. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. But one step at a time, let's focus on getting inside the dungeon first. There we go. Not too bad. Nope, this way. Follow the rightmost path for a little bit. Skip the lights entirely because we're not actually doing the dungeon, we're not actually solving the puzzle. Alright, let's see. Nope, overshot. It's fine. Same thing here, we're trying to jump up on this podium to trigger the transformation. Overshot. Don't know why it works, but it does, and it's great. Let's back up a little bit. Some more room. No, that was bad timing. He's still here. That's totally cool. Whatever you want to do. Happy to have you. Oh, I feel like that was closer, but like I said, sometimes it takes a few tries to trigger, and that's totally fine. Oh, too early. Got it. Pretty sure, yep. Beautiful. So now, check this out. We're just gonna fly. If we can get the right angle. We're gonna fly right through everything. Let's try this again. You gotta get the angle right. We need to go up there. Oh. There we go. And we skip everything that way. Ta-da! So now we just have to drop down. And that's the second dungeon skip. It's the second Guardian. Gives us our second seal. Sacrifices himself to give us more power. Like the hero that he is. And we still see the looming threat of darkness. And that's the second dungeon. So one more key, one more dungeon. Gotta get the lake key to get into the sanctuary. This is the first dungeon I did on my first playthrough. My completely casual, no idea what I was doing run. I did this one first, so that just goes to show how open this game actually is. I just flew around until I found something, which eventually opened up this next dungeon. So now we're going back to pretty close to the beginning of the game, actually. It's the southwest part of the map. Not completely southwest, but more or less. Hug the corner here, following the islands. being careful not to go out of bounds. We don't want to get lost. We should be able to follow these islands. It'll take us right to the oasis, as I like to call it. Yep, I see it off in the distance. So this is a sun and moon puzzle. We have to trigger a couple things here to get the key. And stick the landing. And then the next one is just to the right of us. The next thing we have to trigger, yep, right up there. Stick the landing. More or less. Trigger this. It'll open up the door behind us where we can get the lake key. Soar right on there as fast as possible, of course. We want to be at maximum flight speed as frequently as possible. There's really not too much we can do here, except for follow it the way you're supposed to, which is triggering these. So we have to make this into a sun, a triple sun, and this into a triple moon. Nice and simple. The lake key is right behind the door here. Same thing, just back the way we came as quickly as possible. Pretty sure we're going to see the Kitsune for the third and probably final time. I'll brief up on the dialogue again, because I would like to know what they say. Gonna completely ignore it for the time being, though. Alright, and then we're making our way towards the last dungeon, the Sanctuary. So we're gonna turn right, follow the islands, and it's not too far. Pretty short soar, quick glide, nice little casual fly. It's really serene. It's so peaceful flying around in this game. Everything is very calming. Even in terms of speedrunning, I don't find it to be stressful compared to other games that I've run. We're just going to follow the islands through the clouds, and then right down there, that big water island. It's the last dungeon. The skip that we're about to do is a little trickier, in my opinion, but it's doable. Stick the landing, use the key. None of them are so hard that you cannot do it, I'll put it that way. I learned how to do the skips in minutes. It's a good game to pick up. I know a lot of people are weary anytime there are glitches or skips or anything that you have to learn, but it's a very good game to pick up. If you want to get into speedrunning and you want something that's not stressful and not that hard to learn, this is it. Love this game. Like I said, it only took me a couple minutes to learn each skip. Super simple. It can be a little finicky, but at no point can you just straight up not do anything. Once you learn the routing and the skips, everything else comes pretty naturally. So we have to get to the highest point of this area to trigger our next transformation, which, as I've been saying, you're not supposed to be able to do in a dungeon, but we're gonna trick the game into letting us. Hopefully we gotta nail this jump right here. Into the bush. Alright, not that time, it's fine. But sometimes they take a few tries, you have to expect that. Alright, oh. We're doing the right thing, it's just a matter of whether or not it's gonna trigger. Obviously, you want it to happen in as few attempts as possible, but there's just... it's not always easy to tell. Alright, we got it there. So now we have to fly out of bounds, which means we have to go through that at a very precise angle. Oh. Alright, we got it. It's just a matter of going back inbounds at the right place. Which is right over here. Beautiful, that's the skip. Absolutely beautiful. And that's Sanctuary. Just skip the whole thing. Beautiful skip, I'm so happy about that. This game is great. I can't praise it enough. Shout out to Daedalic Entertainment for sending me a copy. I love it so much. Minecraft Survival Speedrun. How would that even work? You guys are wild. Thank you again for coming out and supporting me. This run is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm very happy to finally be doing it. Darkness, of course. So now that we have all three pieces, we have to go put them together. So there's a big pillar in the middle of like the main town, which we haven't seen yet, but in a casual run you would have seen it way earlier, like 25 minutes ago. In terms of run, like before you find the first dungeon or the first key even, you probably would have found this town first. And there's a pillar there that we're gonna go to. It's this way. And then in that area, there's like an altar in that area that will allow us to put all three pieces of the seal together. And then the end of the game is right around the corner from there. Alright, there's the pillar. Let's try to stick the landing. Woo! Perfect. Love it. So here comes the seal. Kind of looks like a Hylian crest in my opinion, which again makes sense when you consider the Legend of Zelda inspiration. All we have to do is follow that beam of light straight to the end. to the last, quote, dungeon. If I weren't playing Jackbox 44 nights ago, yeah, I wouldn't have you. I'm glad I did, dude. I'm glad I did. I love you guys. You're the best community a streamer could ask for. Alright, so all we gotta do is follow the light to the end. Riku, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Long time, no speak. An IRL friend bought you Destiny 2. I wish I had Destiny 2. I was a big fan of Destiny when it first came out. How have you been, dude? Just about to see the end of the run here. All we gotta do is follow the light into the last area. There's no puzzles to solve here or anything. We just walk to the end. And then time will trigger on at the beginning of the last cutscene when we lose control of the character. I do want to stress, I learned this run in literally like an hour. It's a great game to get into if you're looking to get into speedrunning, but you're nervous, you're scared, you want something that's not long. Again, this is like a 40-minute run, and then it's easy. It's easy to pick up. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easy to pick up. It's also just super, like, I've been toting throughout the entire game how peaceful and serene it is. Just the fluid, the flight mechanics, and the music, the sound design is so good. The art style, everything about it is super calming. Like, I almost want to go lay down right now. This is a great first speed game, just throwing that out there. The importance of Stardust. Stardust is the currency, like the virtual currency of this channel. Once I set up the shop, you're going to be able to trade it in for various things, probably like song requests and game choices and stuff like that. You earn it just by watching, like, time watched equals Stardust gained. Also, when you give me a host, or when you subscribe, you get a ton of Stardust. Stuff like that. Yeah, don't worry, I'll look into it after this. But we're right at the end of the run here, guys, don't you worry. It's been a really good one, in my opinion. Like I said, the skips, you might nail them the first time, but they might also take a few tries, and that's totally fine. Just pretend I didn't fall there. Use your imagination. Erase it from your memory. Totally fine. It's still gonna be sub 40. Whee. So this door is going to open up. Time will end when the last cutscene triggers, and then we can just watch the end together. Go, 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 go. I'm really happy I got this run done tonight. I have been wanting to do it. I hope I didn't miss the submission window. I'm pretty sure it ends in like 5.5 hours. So right when we get to the end of this bridge is when we're going to hit the time. We're going to fade into the darkness, and then a cutscene's going to trigger. So time is coming up right about now. Self-round of applause. Fantastic game. Let's see what happens. Oh, get wrecked. The seals protect us. GG, thank you, dude. I love this game. Thank you guys for coming out and showing your support. That's it. That's Air, Memories of Old by Daedalic Entertainment. I'm really happy with this time. I'm happy with this run.